The FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship cars head down towards Rich's Corner for the first time then, and it's yesterday's race winner, Paul Collingwood, that has made the best of the starts and leads heading into the first corner of the first lap of this 15-minute race on the Snetterton 300 circuit. Up towards the Wilson hairpin they go. Then it's Anton Landon in second place by the looks of it, as the cars make their way out of the hairpin now and down towards Palmer. The car at the back of the field in the Formula 27 there is number 49, Simon Dodd. They stream their way through Palmer and then on out towards Agostini. The car in third place is number 24. That's Marcus Crook, best of the Class B drivers. He was on the podium yesterday as the Class B winner in his Fisher Fury. And he's going with Anton Landon here as well. Different cars in different classes. Class A is for the cars with the highest power to weight ratio. Class B, a slightly lower power weight ratio. And Class C is exclusively for cars that are MEV X Set Rs. The kit cars you can see there, an example of that. Number 7 with the Mazda MX-5 running gear. There's number 30, champion from a couple of years ago, 2022, Stuart Thompson. In the MK Indy, Cole also won the championship previously, the Class A championship, with Matthew Booth back in 2016 as well. So working our way around this first lap of Snetterton. Not the biggest Class A entry that we've had. The championship leader from Class A, Andy Hiley, who's won the first 4 rounds of the championship, not entered this weekend. And because there's not such a big entry in Class A, it means that the drivers within that class can't pick up the maximum 15 points for a class victory, points scored within each individual class, rather than based on their overall finishing position. And that possibly is a helping hand to Andrew Haywood, who already arrived at Snetterton in the lead of the championship by 4 points over Andy Hiley. He's the leading Class B protagonist in his Silver Clubman. And in yesterday's race, he could only manage third within Class B. So we'll be hoping to improve on that here. He's running second in class at the moment. You can see at the end of lap 1 on the timing screen. There's Nigel Brown, number 10. Oh, and very deep through the corner there goes the number 78 car. That's Warren Vesey, another of the MEVs. And Warren, a Class B champion from 2021. When he was driving a Fisher Fury. There's number 27, that's the championship leader, Andrew Haywood, then he's in 5th place. Here's a little scrap going on between Mickey Scott and Stuart Thompson. Stuart Thompson gets ahead in the Class B MK, ahead of the Class C MEV there. And that is for 7th position overall. But the FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship catering for production kit cars, one off-road going 2-seaters, and other popular sports cars such as Caterhams and Ginettas and Westfields as well. Not quite such a big entry here at Snetterton this weekend as we sometimes have, but a good mix of cars. Sadly, just the 3 Class A cars represented this weekend. We don't have Andy Hiley in his mighty Kronos, but we do have the Paul Collingwood Eclipse, the car that he has developed himself, the Anton Landon Sienna, and Nigel Brown as well, the evergreen Nigel Brown in his silver phase of the drive from Birmingham. Long-standing competitor in 750 Motor Club kit cars and sports specials, as it became several years ago now, when it was rebadged and regulations changed to accommodate a wider variety of cars rather than just self-built kit cars, which made it such a popular 750 Motor Club Championship for 7 years, but really accommodating the changing tastes in club racing. And there Nigel Brown, you can see ahead of Andrew Haywood. It will be a more powerful car in a straight line, Nigel Brown's car, so no surprise that it should get ahead of Andrew Haywood, who's still second in Class B. Stuart Thompson has lost out to Mickey Scott again in that battle for 7th, so a nice little scrap that they are having, and it looks like Stuart is going to try to come back at the MEV up into the Wilson hairpin, and he does so. So the man from Felixstowe gets back ahead of Stafford's Mickey Scott on lap 3 of the race. Unsurprisingly, Paul Collingwood has done the best lap of the race so far. On the first flying lap, he did yesterday a 2:01.202. Lap record for these cars is sub 2 minutes actually. Paul Boyd did a 1:59.13 last August in the Eclipse. So it's certainly possible, but probably on such a hot day as this, it might be a challenge to get down to lap record pace. 2:01.159 for Collingwood on that lap, just marginally quicker than he managed yesterday. There's Simon Dodd, sometimes soapbox racer. So here's Nigel Brown, and he's got Stuart Much behind him now, so I think Nigel Brown's moved up to 4th position here on this 3rd lap of the race. Marcus Crook, you could just see going through a shot there. He's comfortably ahead in Class B at the moment. Very good weekend he's having. I think it's the first time we've seen him so far this season, Marcus Crook, in that number 24 car. So going very strongly with that podium finish yesterday. Would certainly be a Class B championship contender if he could do the full season. Andrew Hayward just going through shot there, one of the younger drivers in this championship. Ooh, a little bit out of shape he was there through corners. Got a bit of a twitch on. Scott and Thompson still disputing 7th and 8th. And just behind them in 9th place is number 65, Andrew's father Martin Hayward. 8 minutes still to go, so we've had 3 laps now in this race. Yesterday we squeezed 8 laps out of the available 15 minutes. Actually, the race time was more like 16.5 minutes by the time it had been completed. As I say, Andy Hiley has won each of the 4 rounds of the championship coming into this weekend. Class B, Neil Turner in his Caterham won the opening round of the championship. Andrew Hayward then the next 3. Thruxton was the venue for the 2nd meeting of the season, a rare chance to race at the Hampshire Speed Bowl. Martin Hayward's got Warren Vesey just behind him as well in the orange MEV with the purple roll cage. This for 9th and 10th position that these two are battling. They turn their way through the left-hander and on to the back straight. Oh, and it's side by side just up ahead between Thompson and Scott. Thompson back ahead again. So great little scrap these two are having. Mickey Scott's been racing these MEVs for a few years now. Always the hope is that there'll be more of these MEVs out on the grid, possibly with a view to growing into a larger series of their own in future, but it's not quite happened yet. These days it's the man behind FreakyParts and MEV, Stuart Much, that is the prime mover with these cars. Thompson and Scott into the left-hander at Brundle, followed by Martin Hayward and Warren Vesey. Final 2 cars inside the top 10. It's quite a long gap back then to Alan Robinson, number 26, who's in 11th place. Down towards Coram they go once again, as the leaders are already much further around the lap, of course. There's the battle for 9th. Martin Hayward and Warren Vesey. Over the line goes Stuart Thompson in 7th position. Yep, getting ahead of Mickey Scott on that lap. Might not be the end of that battle though. Let's see if Mickey Scott can come back at him. Possibly one of the longer straights might be the best opportunity for Mickey Scott to get back through. It's only been a couple of seasons that the Class C cars have been able to go for the overall championship title as well, and Mickey Scott is in 3rd place in the points coming into this weekend. Just 1 point ahead actually of Stuart Much. And Anton Landon 5th and Martin Hayward 6th in the points after the first 2 meetings. It's a 12-round championship this year for the FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship. Donington Park, Thruxton, and obviously this double-header meeting at Snetterton. Then they go to Cadwell, Silverstone and Mallory Park to complete their season. Good battle for 11th and 12th actually. We've not really picked up on this. 26th there is Alan Robinson in the Silver Phoenix. 38 is Jamie Bracher in a similar car, drive from Castle Carey in Somerset. And he is in the red car pushing on, trying to find a way past Alan Robson. They're still relatively inexperienced in sports specials racing. You can see he's got the black cross on the yellow background on the rear of his car, indicating that he's still a rookie in the championship in his first few races. Once he's got enough signatures from the clerk of the course to say that he's completed races safely, he'll be able to take that off. Be a more established driver within the championship and club racing more generally. That's a requirement of Motorsport UK, the governing body of motorsport in the UK. That drivers who have yet to get those signatures do need to have that cross in the back of their car, just to let all the drivers around them know, I suppose, that the driver ahead of them is a little bit less experienced. Alan Robinson's been racing for a while, though, in sports specials, and is in 11th place at the moment here, just making his way through Brundle and Nelson. Then they head towards the compression of the bomb hole, and then they just rise back up out of it, gently up towards Coram. This long, consistent radius right-hander now as well, modified a decade or so ago now when the 300 circuit was reconfigured, redesigned by circuit owner, MSV boss, Jonathan Palmer. Aim was always, by extending the circuit, to attract more high-profile international series to Snetterton, but it's not necessarily worked out that way. But it's provided more variety, I think, for club drivers, and it's certainly a different challenge to the 200 circuit and the old Snetterton circuit, with a more technical feel to it. And it's probably a circuit that's now less of a pure power circuit than it was in its previous configuration. And drivers that favour the twisty bits can have part of the circuit that suits their cars. Still this battle going on for 9th and 10th as well between Martin Hayward and Warren Vesey, as they turn their way through the left-hander at Hamilton, and now they go towards the right-hander at Oggies, and then it's another right-hander at Williams that takes them onto the Bentley Straight, formerly known as the Revet Straight, of course, and still one of the longest straights in British motor racing. Let's see if Vesey can pick up the toe here and get past Martin Hayward on the way down towards Brundle and Nelson. He's on the left-hand side of shot, right-hand side of the circuit, which is the outside line for Brundle, is Warren Vesey, but he's just about squeezed through. So Warren Vesey takes the place. He goes up to 9th. Does he run wide, though, on the exits of Nelson and allow Martin Hayward back through? Yes, I think he does. So very briefly, Warren Vesey at number 78 was ahead there. Martin Hayward's made it back through. Paul Collingwood, of course, already has got onto another lap here. 5.5 seconds ahead of Anton Landon, and Marcus Crook in Class B is a very convincing leader as well. So barring breakdowns or some other drama, looks like we know who our class winners are going to be this weekend. And there go Hayward and Vesey over the line. 9th and 10th, and nearly a minute now behind the race leader. Couple of laps to go, I would think, here in the FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship race. Class C wins this season, by the way, have gone between Mickey Scott, Stuart Much and Lewis Ward at Thruxton. There's our race leader, Paul Collingwood, just to confirm he is still out there, well clear of the rest. We've not seen too much of him, but he has been quite dominant in this race. In yesterday's race, he won by 27 seconds over Anton Landon. It's not going to be quite that margin today, I don't think. There's number 30, which is Stuart Thompson, of course. And it looks like he's just eating into the advantage of Andrew Hayward, who leads the Class B Championship coming into this weekend. Not going to win the Class B race today, as he didn't yesterday, I don't think, because Marcus Crook is doing an excellent job a bit further up the field. But Andrew Hayward's just got to be a bit careful that he doesn't fall into the clutches of Stuart Much and of Stuart Thompson, I should say, and Thompson challenge him for second place within that class and take a couple of points away from him potentially. There's Stuart Much. He's there in 5th position at the moment. Quite a lonely race for him right now. You can see Nigel Brown 3 or 4 seconds ahead of him. in a different class, of course, and points within the Sports Specials Championship are scored within each individual class. Now, the clock has counted down to 0, so Paul Collingwood is on his final lap, but he's not actually that far ahead of Anton Landon now. The gap has really narrowed, hasn't it? It was more than 5 seconds. It's now only 1.3 seconds. So it was a slow lap, I think, for Paul Collingwood on that last lap. But he's got to be careful here. He's not backing off too much and maybe allowing Anton Landon through for his first win of the season. He's had 3 podiums, 3rd place finishes at Donington Park and at Thruxton so far this season. But Paul Collingwood in the Eclipse with the modified bodywork, you can see the diffuser on the back of the car as well, compared to the standard Eclipse design, which doesn't have the overhang at the rear of the car to quite the same extent. Paul Collingwood with the Honda engine in his car has designed that. He thinks that suits the car and helps it handle a bit better. Down the Bentley Straight he goes for the final time. You can see in the background there's a car that has been lapped. That may well be the car of Neil Webb, I think, that has gone a lap down here. So Collingwood through the bomb hole for the final time. It looks as if Landon isn't going to just cruise up to the back of him and past him, although the gap did come down quite considerably on the previous lap. Through the left-hander they go for the final time at Murray's. Out of it accelerates Paul Collingwood, and it's going to be his 2nd victory and his 5th podium finish of the season so far. Paul Collingwood takes the checkered flag then to win the FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship race. 2nd place goes to Anton Landon. The gap in the end around about 2 seconds between them. It's going to be quite a big gap to 3rd as Neil Webb goes across the line a lap down in his Class C car. And then I think the next car through is going to be our Class B winner, which is Marcus Crook. Now, he's been dominant really in that class all weekend. His first appearance of the season in the category, and we'll just see if he comes across the line. A bit further back there's Mickey Scott. He's going to win in Class C. He's just ahead of the lapped Simon Dodd Formula 27. Crook has gone through in 3rd. Nigel Brown 4th, completing the podium within Class B as well, with Class A as well, I should say. Stuart Much wins Class C. Oh, and it's side by side almost over the line between Hayward and Thompson for 2nd in Class B, and less than 2 tenths separates them. But Andrew Hayward does cling on to 2nd place today, which he couldn't do yesterday. And Mickey Scott and Warren Vesey go over the line, having had their battle. Martin Hayward dropping back quite a bit towards the end of that race. Well, a race that was won by Paul Collingwood. Let's get confirmation of those results then. 2.03 seconds the gap between the Eclipse and the Sienna, the 2 Class A cars. Marcus Crook 34 seconds adrift in the first Class B car, but he was more than 20 seconds clear of his nearest Class B rival. Nigel Brown was 4th, Stuart Much 5th, winning Class C, ahead of Andrew Hayward and Stuart Thompson. Mickey Scott, Warren Vesey and Martin Hayward rounded out the top 10, ahead of Alan Robinson, Jamie Bracher, Neil Webb and Simon Dodd, who were the 14 finishers from that FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship race. And the FreakyParts Sports Specials, they continue at Cadwell Park next month before going to Silverstone in August and Mallory Park in October to conclude their season. We've still got plenty more racing to come here at Snetterton today, so don't go away. But for now, we're going to head down to Park Fermo once again, where Kieran Mogg is going to talk to our successful drivers.
Well, we're down in Park Fermo here with our class winners and 2nd place as well, because he accidentally come through. But we're going to quickly speak to our winner, Paul Collingwood. Now, Paul, if I could just jump in a second here. You had a fairly almost easy race for a while there before Anton started to catch up towards the end there. Were you managing the tyres, or it just started to go off?
I was just managing the pace for the 2nd part of the race, really, and I saw him in my mirrors and I thought I'd better get a move on.
Yeah, absolutely. But other than that, how was the race and the track conditions from your perspective?
Track conditions were good, probably too warm for any lap records, but other than that, really good, yeah.
And how are you finding the car around the track as well?
It's always a good car, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, good to end the weekend, obviously, in this fashion.
Yeah, brilliant, thank you.
Congratulations on the win. Cheers. Thank you. Now we'll speak to our Class B winner, Marcus Crook, if I could just jump in here a second. Now, Marcus, this is only your second weekend, I've been told. Absolutely, so fantastic result, because you won yesterday, I believe, as well.
I did, yes, yes.
So it's been a fantastic weekend, obviously, from your point of view. How are you finding the Series 750 and the car?
Brilliant, really good. Rebuilt the car over the winter, changed lots of things on it. Well, as you can see from the results, that's a lot better car.
Yeah, absolutely. And is anybody, any sponsors that you'd like to thank for that?
Only myself and my garage that I own, RB Motors.
Excellent. Well, congratulations then.
All right, thanks very much.
Cheers, thank you very much. Now, I've got to quickly pass up to the commentators. Unfortunately, can't speak to Stuart much, the Class C winner, because the MX-5s are just on the grid. So, Kieran and Josh, back up to you.